So here to talk some boxing on my way to work. Gonna do some OT. So you know what I'm saying. So I wanted to talk some boxing. So we got some boxing matches coming up, upcoming events. We got, Eubanks coming up with Smith. That's a fight I'm not really studying that much, but I'll check it out if I can. I'll probably check out the rebroadcast and talk about that fight, because there's just some fights, you hear about them and it's just some that don't draw your interest. One thing about boxing, it's just certain events that you want to cover basis others. So it just depends on the demand for it and what what your audience wants, and that's just basically it. So we'll see what's up. But I want to talk about Dimitri Bivol. His name seemed to be attached to a lot of potential fights. Basically, possibly a fight with Jaime Munguia. To me, at this time, that wouldn't make any kind of sense. Just not right now, because I still feel like Munguia got some work to do at the other weight classes. So I just feel like that fight right now kind of wouldn't make no kind of sense. To me, the most logical fight out there for Dimitri Bivol is to wait and see what happens next week with Arthur Beterbiev versus Anthony Yarde. I know Arthur Beterbiev is getting long in the tooth because he is approaching 38 years old. If he isn't 38, so you thinking to yourself, well, his clock is kind of ticking, and I think that people are trying to wait and see how he looks in this fight before they consider stepping in the ring with him. Because with Arthur Beterbiev, the super fights out there for him always comes down to how he looks versus the last guy or the up and coming guy. Whether people like it or not, Arthur Beterbiev is deserving of a pound for pound fighter because he's one of the best fighters out there, and his record proves it because nobody's went the distance with him. He's knocked out everybody. Yes, he doesn't have a whole bunch of fights under his belt because he started late, but I can tell you this much: whenever Arthur Beterbiev fights, you get up for it. If you're a boxing purist and you want to see an action-packed fight, you tune in to Arthur Beterbiev. And I don't think Arthur Beterbiev has much time left. I think Arthur Beterbiev, just looking at him and briefly talking to him, I think he wants to become undisputed, and I think he wants to get out of the boxing business. I don't think this is something that he planned for long term. So hopefully we can get the undisputed match between him and Bivol later on this year. Now, if Bivol wants to take a tune-up fight, take a lighter touch, then yeah, go ahead. But him versus Arthur Beterbiev, should Arthur Beterbiev be successful next week, that should be the only thing that Bivol should be focused on. At the end of the day, he beat Canelo soundly. Whether Canelo fans want to believe it or not, Canelo can have all the surgery on his hand and make all the excuses he want for losing that fight. Canelo just got beat. He got thoroughly beat. He got dominated. Whether Canelo is in denial about what happened to him or his team, or Canelo's pride is getting in the way, I highly recommend that Canelo don't fight Bivol again just for pride, because he will get beat again. I didn't see nothing that Canelo would be able to adjust to in a second fight that would show me he would be successful against Bivol in a rematch. I think it's the same results. I think it's even worse. I know Canelo fans don't want to accept the truth about how bad Canelo got dominated, but Canelo, and I hate to even reference this dude's name, but Joe Rogan said it himself and a few other people, and even Chris Mannix believes it. Canelo probably gonna get stopped if he fights Bivol a second time. And then what's gonna happen? I think Canelo should just focus on 168 and try to make some fights. Now, what do I think is gonna happen next week with with Yard and Arthur Beterbiev, I just think it's gonna be the same. At the end of the day, you gotta favor Arthur Beterbiev, and you gotta favor the fight to end up the same way that he's gonna stop Yard. Now, of course, me being a brother, of course, you want Yard to do good because he's a brother from the UK. Yard is a good dude, man. He's a good dude. Because one thing about me, I'll talk to people when the cameras stop rolling. See, that shows you, and that shows other fighters what type of man you are. That you're not just there to get an interview and collect information and just, post it, to your channel so you can get views. But I actually talk to these guys before the camera start rolling. And that's why a lot of, for the most part, a lot of these dudes respect me. Some of them, they don't like me. Some of them don't. That's okay. And all that kind of stuff. It's all good. But me, myself, I just think that Arthur Beterbiev is going to demolish Anthony Yard. I predict it'll be a 7th round stoppage. And it may not even last that long. When I say that Yard is going to have to fight the fight of his life, when I say he's going to have to be perfect, and when I say Arthur Beterbiev, you have to be perfect to beat him. I'm talking about you got to, the thing is with Beterbiev, when you fight him, it's all good until he lands something meaningful. And the first meaningful punch that he lands, then it just seems to go downhill afterwards. Ask Marcus Brown. Ask Boslik. Boslik lost his first fight to Arthur Beterbiev. He was undefeated till... Shit. He was undefeated. Drop my phone. He was undefeated till Beterbiev got a hold of him. He was undefeated till Beterbiev got a hold of him. And then once Beterbiev got a hold of him, that was all she wrote. Beat him up so bad that he decided not to fight. And that speaks volumes about somebody. When I say that speaks volumes about somebody, there's people that heard Arthur Beterbiev, just in the gym hitting the bags. They say it's just like a loud thunder. And that always happens. And I laughed at the very thought that people actually thought that Canelo had a chance against Arthur Beterbiev. Now, Canelo might try to fight Arthur Beterbiev like when he 41 or something, because he think he may have aged. But Arthur Beterbiev, he's always a dangerous fighter. But I just think the results are going to be the same. I see him stopping Yard in around 6-7 rounds at best. If Yard manages to go past 7 rounds, I'll be impressed. I still think Beterbiev is going to win this fight stoppage. And then afterwards, the only thing we want to hear, should Beterbiev be successful, which I think he will, is undisputed. Bob Arum said he's not going to get in the way. Now let's see what happens with DAZN and all the other people. Let's see what they try to give us, the fight that we want. No stalling, and try to make this fight. And that's the problem that we done got over the past. This is what we've been getting with boxing over the past 10 years. Truly. Over the past 10 plus years, just excuses after excuses made why we can't get the big fights made. Whether it's promoters, promotional company networks, that's just all we get is excuses. And me, I'm just tired of it. I don't want to hear that anymore. Make these damn fights. Do it for the fans, do it for the culture. Let's get these fights made. We deserve it. Like I said, they got a couple of solid fights coming up. Yeah, Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez. Hell yes. Love that fight. That's going to be an excellent fight. Ruiz versus Wilder, that's supposed to be next up. I don't know when exactly that fight is supposed to happen, because it looked like may be booked up, because Errol Spence is supposed to fight Keith Thurman, but you hearing this stuff about he may circle the block and he may start negotiating with Terrence Crawford. You mean Al Heyman may start negotiating with Terrence Crawford? Or let's see, will they just offer Terrence Crawford another insulting deal, or just basically tell Terrence Crawford once again they don't know how much they're gonna pay him? I just laugh at the fact that a lot of these dudes, I'm not gonna lie, because I like poking fun at the Errol Spence Brigade, because it's fun and it's just fun. It's just easy to humiliate them and just call them on their lies. And they'll say that other people are biased. And just like I saw somebody making a video crying about where did all the hate for Errol Spence come from, and I'm like, my question is, where did all the hate for Terrence Crawford come from? And like I said, a lot of black content creators, and that's why I keep saying, please stop talking that pro-black stuff, because I've seen a lot of these black content creators treat Terrence Crawford, well, I should say most of them were acting like black KKK men. And I'm going to continue to call them out. And I'm going to continue to say this. Once again, I know you be listening. Ain't nobody scared of y'all, man. Because we all know that you ain't going to do nothing. You ain't going to do nothing. And you know who you are. Ain't nobody scared of you. And I'll tell you to your face. I promise you I will. Everybody knows I'm always at these fights. So, ain't worried about that. I'll be in Atlanta next month. So, but I'm just saying, I just like poking the bear, because I know it makes them mad, because once again it was proven that there was really no intentions to make a fight, because as you can see, Ryan Garcia produced a copy of a contract. Him and Oscar De La Hoya signed an actual contract. We know there was no pictures of Errol Spence producing a contract. We know there was no contract sent to Terrence Crawford. And then these dummies will try to reverse it and try to say, oh, well, see, Ryan Garcia signed his contract. That's because he got sent the actual contract. Like, just stop it, y'all. Like, you making yourself look bad, man. And it's funny, you got a lot of these people from the Errol Spence Brigade that'll make excuses for him, and like they always do. And I ask legitimate questions. What was in this so-called contract? But I thought a contract got signed in July. That was the reports that they put out. I keep saying this. This is like, I mean, for real, this is just like fun doing this to them, because they just get, the Errol Spence Brigade just give me so, for real. They really do. They really do. It's just hilarious. But I commend and give Oscar De La Hoya, I give Tank Davis credit. They got the fight did. It's gonna be a fight. The contract's been signed. So let's get it. Let's get it. April 15th. I have no idea. I'm pretty sure my boy Vegas Mark will find out where it's gonna be at, because he seems to know when the fight's gonna happen or what location as far as Vegas goes. So it's probably gonna be at the T-Mobile Arena. Arena I detest. I cannot stand the T-Mobile Arena. I don't like that arena. But it's probably gonna be there. I think Tank has fought at the T-Mobile Arena before he fought on the undercard of Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor. I think he may have fought there another time, but I know for sure he fought there when they had Floyd versus Conor McGregor. But like I said before, I just don't like the T-Mobile Arena. Hopefully when they build this state-of-the-art basketball arena that's supposed to open around 2026 or something, 2025, maybe they'll have more events there, but the T-Mobile Arena is just not a good venue, just the way it's built. Oh, appreciate it. Yeah, I'm gonna get my plane tickets, Aubrey, on Monday. I'm gonna email you too, man. I can't say on here, but you know, I'll hit you on your email, bro. But yeah, I'll be there. But yeah, like I said before, man. I just like having fun, like poking at the Aerospace Brigade, because all they do is sit up. They do their fake panels. It's sad when you got, you know, extremists, and then you got another person sometimes trying to wing it. But hey, it is what it is. And some of these people, they just be clueless about what they be saying on their channels. They just literally make up stuff. And they'll take somebody's words, but I give them credit. They starting to understand the pros and cons of doing media spins, because that's what the actual media used to do, the TV media. They would take a quote and then they would spin it and make it their own interpretation. And that's how, you know what I'm saying, when you have like a cult-like following, one person will say something and then other people believe it and start regurgitating it. And without having actual fact, but that's what a lot of these dudes do. Because say what you want to say, I'm actually out there. I'm in the field. I'm talking to everybody. I go into these fights with no bias whatsoever. Now, like I said, I don't know what's gonna happen with Caleb Plant and David Benavidez. Will I be there? I'm trying to, you know, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to figure out something. But you know, I don't want to go into deep detail because, you know, you have, you know, certain people that be watching, and that's all I'm gonna say. So, you know, at the end of the day, like I said, I had a conference call with some of the top people at the PBC. I literally did. So some stuff got worked, some stuff. And I'm gonna say this. So all you other content creators, yeah, you know, I had an issue with the PBC because there were some things going on behind the scene that I didn't like, that I wasn't feeling, and I felt that it wasn't fit. But I reached out to people, you know, and it just goes to show you, if you relentless and you passionate about something and you show influence with the PBC. I had a conference call with one of the people from the PBC, me and somebody else, and apparently, like I worked out, some stuff got worked out. But make no mistakes, I'm still gonna be the person that I am. But some stuff got worked out, so I'm happy to say that, you know, you might see me or somebody from my team, you know, covering other fights. Because, you know, I have somebody, you know what I'm saying, that I work with, that can cover fights on my behalf. So that's good to hear. That's good to hear that, you know what I'm saying, that I got people on my team, and I want y'all to hear that. Because like I said, stuff got worked out, so I'm happy about that. But we'll see in the future how it goes. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to stop being me. I got to say what I believe in, and I made that very clear when I had this conference call. I said I'm not going to sugarcoat my content, and I'm going to continue to say what need to be said. They said they don't got a problem with it. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, getting back to boxing, I'm really excited. Like I said, about Plant and Benavidez. Can't wait for that fight. But yeah, one of the most important fights we can get this year should be Better Be versus, Bivol for undisputed. I hope we can get it. I hope that no politics are involved or politics involved in getting this fight made. That is the only fight that should get made at light heavyweight. And we should be able to get that fight. It's still genuine. To me, Bivol and Better Be, if everything goes to plan, if Better Be is successful next week, which I think he will be, but if he isn't, then we got to talk about Yarde versus Bivol at 175 for undisputed. That fight shouldn't take no longer than, worst case scenario, that fight should take no longer than July, August to be made. We should get that fight around August. And to be honest with you, that fight probably is gonna have to be, pay-per-view. And I have to keep it a buck, because at the end of the day, it's for undisputed, and Bivol and both Better Be deserve to be paid a decent salary for that fight. So hopefully the companies can come together and figure out how to do a joint pay-per-view, which they should be able to do a joint pay-per-view. DAZN and Top Rank should be able to find a way to do a pay-per-view. And of course, this fight should take place in the States. This fight, I say this fight should take place in that fight should take place at Madison Square Garden. It's a Las Vegas fight, but it's more a New York fight, because it's a lot of Russians. It's a lot of Russians in New York. Better Be is Russian born, and so is Bivol. So you'll have the Russian crowd that'll come out for that fight, and then you're gonna have the boxing purists, and then you're gonna have the people that like boxing. I would definitely go to that fight. I'm talking about, I would definitely cover that fight. Yeah, I know, Mark, you would want that fight to be in Vegas, but that's a East Coast. That's New York all the way. And like I said before, the worst case scenario, that fight should take place in August. Shouldn't take to get that fight made, because like I said, if Bivol want to take a tune-up fight, against a nobody, just to stay, sharpen his skills, keep his skills sharp, yeah, go ahead. But yeah, that gotta happen this year. Gotta happen. No excuses why that fight shouldn't be made, because if Showtime can figure out a way with DAZN to make Tank versus Ryan Garcia, which I'm gonna try to be at that fight. If not, I'll seek it. I'll send somebody there. But 2023 should be the year we just get the fights that we want to see. We gotta stop making excuses about promotional companies, because what we done seen over the past four or 5 years, especially with Crawford and Spence, you got a lot of these dudes on here. How much did they think they like you some kind of promoter? And that's what's been going on with a lot of the Spence brigade. Once again, who are you to tell somebody how much they should take? Because you sure wouldn't like somebody telling you how much money you should take. So where do you get off telling Terrence Crawford how much money he should take? Especially when you ain't never fought a day in your damn life. Most of these dudes that sit up here talking all this stuff ain't never had an actual fight in their life. But they sitting up here trying to tell another, and these are black people trying to tell another black man how much they think he's worth. Because because, you know what I'm saying, they got Errol Spence's sack in their mouth. It's just laugh. Mark, I can tell you what's going on. Everybody is waiting on Lomachenko. The reason why that fight ain't been announced because everybody is waiting on Lomachenko to just, you know, just agree to fight in Las Vegas. Lomachenko is the one that's basically holding the fight up. The deal is already did. The fight is pretty much a done deal. The fight is gonna happen on May the 20th. But it just goes to show you, like I said, Lomachenko is the one holding up this fight because he want to fight in New York. He don't want to fight in Las Vegas, and that's the holdup. That's why Devin Haney tweeted when they announced was going to take place at Madison Square Garden on May the 20th. When Devin Haney said, "Nah, hold up, man. Nah, that's not what's going on." Team Haney is pushing for Las Vegas, and this is my thing, and I'm gonna keep this 100. Team Haney is the A side. Saudi Arabia is out of the picture. Bill said that ain't even an afterthought. That Saudi is either Vegas or New York. They're not fighting in Saudi Arabia. Unless something changed. Like, I know everything that's been going on. Remember, I was the one that exactly. The only thing that's holding up the fight is the location. But my thing is, Lomachenko need to just fight wherever they ask him to fight, because at the end of the day, he was the one that said, "Hey, I'll fight him any place, anytime." But then when they started pitching ideas about locations, then Lomachenko started to change his mind. Lomachenko is the one holding up the fight. His team. They already did, everything has been sorted out. The money wise, all this kind of stuff. The fight is going to be in all likely pay-per-view. The only thing that's stopping this fight from being formally announced is where the fight is going to take place. I talked to Bill last week. Bill told me that it's in all likelihood that fight is going to be in Las Vegas, but Lomachenko is stalling. Because keep in mind, this fight was originally supposed to take place. They wanted to take place. Team Haney, they wanted the fight to take place in March. But need more preparation time here for this fight, so they said, "Oh, we can do it in May." So Lomachenko is the one that's been holding up this fight. But we know he ain't gonna get criticized like if that was somebody else. But there you guys go. But there you guys go. That's the point that I was trying to prove from, the fake pro-black media. Ain't none of them calling out, and then people be sitting up here acting like they cool with Bill Haney, but then they ain't calling Lomachenko out for basically stalling the fight. I have. But these dudes so worried about Terrence Crawford. So that's why I be saying what I say about these clowns, because they clowns. Straight bozos. Never had the same energy. But then these dudes are the same, had the audacity to talk about racism in boxing. Hey, D, let me know when I'm available all day tomorrow, because I'm off tomorrow. I've definitely got to come on your show. But D, that's what's going on. Lomachenko is the one holding up the fight. I can tell you exactly what happened because I've talked to Bill Haney. After Lomachenko defeated Jermaine Ortiz, Lomachenko said live on ESPN, he don't care. He'll fight any place, anywhere. He said he'll be the B side. Okay. Team Haney they said, okay, let's do the fight in Atlanta. Lomachenko allegedly didn't want to do the fight in Atlanta. Then they said, okay, how about Las Vegas? Lomachenko said, well, maybe Las Vegas allegedly, but I'd rather I'd rather the fight be in New York. But this is the stuff that Lomachenko said. They wanted to do this fight originally in March before Team Haney, did Ramadan, because they're Muslims. You do the time you doing Ramadan, you have to fast, you have to eat certain times of the day. So Lomachenko stalled the fight, said he need more time to prepare for the fight. So then they agreed, okay, we'll push the fight back a couple of extra months. So we'll push the fight to May the 20th. And the fight is supposed to be pay-per-view. Everything else is supposed to have been agreed upon, but Lomachenko is still holding up the fight because he insists on fighting in New York. So that's the holdup. That's why the fight hasn't been formally announced, but they have a date in place. They have a date in place, May the 20th. That came directly from Bill Haney. That's why Michael Benson tweeted that the fight was going to take place at Madison Square Garden, but Team basically said, wait, hold on, man. That's not correct. So Team Haney wants to fight in Las Vegas. Now, keep in mind, Bill Haney was born and raised in Oakland. And that would favor Bill Haney, and they should have an advantage, because at the end of the day, they had to go on the road twice to get the titles and to defend the title, which was absurd. I never heard of a champion to defend the belt going right back to the same location, because usually the champion get to defend the belt where he chooses. To me, Team Haney is the A side. And it's getting to the point with Lomachenko, but what Lomachenko is really trying to do, quad is kept, he trying to stall them out. He tried to frustrate them to where they say, you know what, we just gonna move up to 140, and then hope that they basically vacate the belt so Lomachenko could have a chance to fight for the belts. Basically fighting, eliminators and all that kind of stuff. Basically trying to take the quote unquote easy way. Instead of, because I knew what Lomachenko said, man, you look like heavyweight. I said, here we go. And this is why I've been saying what I said about Lomachenko for years. He ain't who they made him out to be. He's showing people who he is by basically, he's showing who he is by basically stalling this fight. Like, bro, they didn't push the fight back 2 months for you. You didn't got accommodated enough. Sign the damn contract. Let's get this fight made. If you the Matrix and you the dude that everybody made you out to be, ESPN made you out to be, then this shouldn't be no problem for you. But that's what Lomachenko was also hoping, that Devin Haney gets frustrated to say, you know what, forget it. We just gonna move up to 140. Because from what I was told, this is gonna be Devin Haney's last fight at 135. Then he's moving up to 140. So if you're wondering why they haven't been a formal announcement, blame Lomachenko. And the media need to put more pressure on Lomachenko to just fight, sign a contract to fight in New York, in Las Vegas, and let's just get this over with. Well, he feel like because it's a decent amount of Ukrainians in New York City. See, here's the thing that they don't want to tell you. This is what I know to be fact, because I didn't cover a couple of Lomachenko fights. Lomachenko though got that big of a fan base, and that's just the reason why he's never fought at the actual Madison Square Garden is because he can't sell a large amount of tickets. Remember, you guys, when he fought Adam Carolla, they closed down that whole top section of the Staples Center. Lomachenko don't got a big fan base. So that's why he's always fought in the Hulu instead of the actual Madison Square Garden. Now, if he fights Devin Haney, you figure if he can get 4,000 or 5,000 Ukrainians and Devin can get 6,000 or 7,000 of his fan base in New York, then you could probably get 11,000, 12,000. But see, here's the thing. If they fight in Vegas, now keep in mind, Devin Haney fought in Vegas under, restrictions. Under restrictions. So now if you fight in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand, you basically can fight, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to fight under restrictions. And keep in mind, even when he fought Diaz, people still kind of went going to Vegas because, we still was in what. But now, that's how. At the end of the day, they got 3 possible venues they could put Devin versus Lomachenko. Of course, the MGM Grand or the Mandalay Bay. At the Mandalay Bay, because I think they could definitely sell the Mandalay Bay out. The Mandalay Bay at capacity holds 12,000 people, which is still good. I would put it at the Mandalay Bay. That's my own personal preference. But at the Mandalay Bay, they'll sell the joint out. The Bay Area's gonna come in full stride. People go jump on them planes and they gonna come support Devin because Bill he really is, So the Bay gonna come out. Hey, appreciate that. Well, Vegas Park, I would rather it be at me myself. I don't T-Mobile Arena. I've always preferred the MGM Grand or the Mandalay Bay, but I say they put it at the Mandalay Bay. But Bob Arum usually, if he does fights in Las Vegas, he usually does the MGM Grand. So it'll probably be at the MGM Grand. And I was already told by Team Haney that more than likely I'm gonna be doing some behind the scenes work. So yeah, the MGM Grand is it yeah, me too. I prefer every fight to be at the MGM Grand. If not the MGM Grand, then my second is the Mandalay Bay. T-Mobile Arena, nah. I just don't like covering fights there. But I got a feeling that I'm gonna have to go there in April to see Tank versus Ryan Garcia. All right, you guys, be back later on. Appreciate y'all tapping in. This your boy Town. I'm out.